Now let's talk about file management. To start off, we're going to learn about how to open a file. So first, we're going to start off by making a variable called file, and then we're going to equals to the function called open. So before I move on, I'm going to just talk about how the prototype open and what it's supposed to look like. So let's make this a comment. Open, the parameters go in the following way. So we have the file name. Then we have the access mode, which can be read or write or both. So access, or let's just say, to keep it simple, actually, just say read or write, excuse me. And then we have an optional one, which is buffering. That's basically telling us whether buffering will be used. And we might talk about later, but our focus is file name and access. So let's open our first file. So we have our first parameter, and then in my case, I'm using a direct path. If you don't use a path, it'll open this file in wherever your Sublime full text project is located. So in my case, I'm using the path, and if you're using the slashes, don't forget to use escape characters where you have to try it in the slash twice. So we have our file, then we're going to have comma, and then the mode. And we're going to say R for read. Okay, so now we're going to print what we're reading from the file. What we're going to do with this function we're going to have is read. That's basically it reads from the file. So we opened it, and now we're going to read from it. So we're going to print that out, print, and then we have file.read. Don't forget your parentheses. It's a method, so don't forget your parentheses. That's all. All right, so we're gonna build that. As you can see in my file, I wrote hello, so that's it. And then a good practice to have. So when you're done with the file, you close it. Now the method close looks like this: close with parentheses. And then we do file.close. So basically, we use the variable because it's a lot easier. It's basically proper code etiquette. So we have a variable for where we open the file, and then every time we need to work with a file, we have the variable name of that where the file is, dot, and the method. So we closed it, and there you go. All right, moving on. We can read a specific amount of characters in a file. So the parameter in read is as follows. So let's say we have 4. That means that's the number of bytes to be read. So that's approximated to every amount of characters. So let's say we're going to read 4 bytes or 4 characters from the file. So when I do that, hello has 5 letters, and now we're only reading 4 letters. And so that's pretty much it for read. So let's move on to another function called tell. What tell is going to do, it tells us where the current position of the pointer is in the file. So let's say we have our current code, and we're going to print, don't forget, file dot tell, and we're going to print, and what it says, our cursor is at the 4th position right now. So if we change this to 5, it goes to 5. All right, so we mentioned the pointer. So this is indicates where we're currently reading from the file. So we have another function called seek. What this does, it allows us to move the pointer within the file to wherever we need to for whatever purpose. So let me just talk about the arguments parameters first. So the first one is the number of bytes for which we want to actually move the pointer, and the other one's optional. So we won't be talking about it too much. So we have seek file.seek, and let's say we want to. So let's take our previous example. So we take this, we have file seek. Let's just clean this up a little. Okay, so let's say we're reading 4 characters. And then afterwards, we want to go to the end of the file anyway. So for just some purpose. So we're going to do file seek, and then at the end, we're going to do file tell. And then we're going to build that. Oh, I forgot to print, of course. So print. And there we go. That should work. Yes. So before, if we take this out, it would have been 4. But now we have 5 because we moved the cursor to the end of the file. And that pretty much illustrates how that works. So what we can also do, we can read, let's get rid of all this. We're not going to need this right now. All right, what we can also do, we can also read the file one line at a time by using a loop. So for line in, so we can actually use loops with the file itself. So let's say you have a bunch of text. So let me just write this out first, and then we have line. So this is going to read line per line, and of course, after we're done, we're going to file close. All right, so let me just go back to my file, and we're going to add some lines. Line. So let's just copy a bunch of line. All right, so we have hello and then a bunch, 4 lines. All right, so let's print this out. Oops, and I forgot something. Hold on a sec. File close. Okay, so in file, let me just check my syntax. I forgot the colon again. All right, so there you go. It used the for loop to print every single line, because if we just did print line, it would just do 1 line, or just print file would do 1 line until the end character. So in this case, it printed every single line. And then you just close it, as we usually do in proper practice. And so now what we can also talk about is so when working with files, we should basically know some get to know some attributes. So let's do the following. So we have print, so let's say file name. We're gonna just get to know some attributes. So file name, and that's going to be plus, we're adding to the string file dot name. Then we have print is closed. And then we're going to do string function, so display the string of file closed. And then we have print, and then we're going to print the mode that we're in. So you might need these might prove to be useful later on in whatever programming jobs you have. So, whoops, I made a mistake somewhere. Where is it? Oh no, here we go. All right, so it printed out basically what we had in here. So we might need this first. This stuff might come in handy, these attributes, for whatever you're doing. So we returned the file name. We returned whether it's closed or not. So we said it returns a bool. So we want to typecast it as a string. So we said, give me the string. Is it true or false? So is it closed? No, because we just opened it. So, and then we asked for the mode, and I made here mode L, here mode R, and that's pretty much it. So that concludes file reading. Next time we'll be dealing with file writing.